Hey, okay, wait, first let me get the screenshot. Hello, okay, so as you can see, I'm outside. I was waiting on, I'm outside. A lot of thoughts, a lot of thoughts. So when I'm outside, two, I'm eating this bomb-ass Cobb salad that my wife made. I've been vegan for 9 years now, so it feels so nice to eat a Cobb salad with everything in it, like a hard-boiled egg, the bacon, the grilled chicken, like, ugh, yes, the ranch, the feta cheese. So that's what I'm munching on right now. And then I'm also waiting to link with my friend. And I figured instead of cramming everything until later, because I'm already ready, I'm like, let's start talking. Let's start talking. So that way when I get back from the link up, I can just edit and post and then everything will be on time. So I kind of feel like this video is going to be a little bit different only because if I'm being honest, I didn't take a lot of reading notes for week 4, and I think it's because there really wasn't much. I mean, I don't want to say that there wasn't much. Honest changes took up the majority of week 4's reading. I mean, it was damn near like 3 pages. She gave me an exercise and she mentioned the reading deprivation, the infamous reading deprivation that I've heard so much about when it comes to the artist way. And yeah, that's it. And then she goes into the task. So yeah, because I was looking at my notes and I was like, damn, Daisy, like I'll only put honest changes, but I mean that was like the bulk of the week. So let's hop into it. Let's start with the reading notes because there's only like one note that I have. Like I have a few quotes and stuff. So let's start there, and then I'm just gonna blabble on about the overview of my week and like some discoveries I made and emotions and thoughts and blah 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 blah. Okay. So this week is all about recovering a sense of integrity. And the first topic of the week is honest changes, like I said. With this section, she was really going into the morning pages and how a lot of people feel like they don't need to do them or like it's not that serious. Like the morning pages helps us decipher from feelings that, what did she say? Real feelings and official feelings. She says that there's a difference. And that when we take that time to write in the morning pages, we're being honest with ourselves. The truth comes out on paper. There's kind of like nowhere to hide. Working with the morning pages, we begin to sort through the differences between our real feelings, which are often secret, and our official feelings, those on the record for public display. Official feelings are often indicated by the phrase, I feel okay about that, job loss, her dating someone, my dad's death, etc. This reminded me of like grade school, like just growing up, when our parents would ask us, oh, like how was school today? And you would be like, fine, it was good, fine. And you would never go into detail because like it just became like this automatic response to where you don't even think about it. Or when people are like, or when you walk into your job or into class or something and the teacher, your boss, or your coworkers go, hey, how are you? Good morning. And you're like, I'm good. How are you? Fine, thanks. It's like that's such like a automatic response. I feel like saying that you feel okay and fine is so automatic that we don't even consider other words, like other phrases, other emotions. You have to face yourself. Like there's no reason to lie. These are your real feelings. Definitely in society, I feel like there's this pressure to act like you have everything together, and it's kind of like a turn off to be empathetic and emotional, but being vulnerable, I feel like, is one of the top tier experiences of being a human being. Like I believe we were put on this earth to love and to create, procreate, and to just live life beautifully to the fullest. But of course, like society and our ideals have kind of made the vision a bit foggy. And when you do things for years and centuries and decades and it becomes a part of culture and history, it's really hard to break from that. the bulk of Honest changes, she was just really like going in about morning pages, about how like you need to do them, like how we need to do them. And it's funny because I literally just had a conversation with my friend last week who said that she is just starting the artist way. She was like, be honest, you really doing the morning pages? And I was like, yes, girl, like strangely enough, like I did not think I would, but I have not missed a day since, because before starting this journey I was looking at other people's journeys and I was just trying to get a feel for like, you know, how to do or how to document my process, you know, on social media. And I came across this one artist, and I think she said because of her schedule she could only do the morning pages towards midnight, like at night, but she said that she was a night owl and that she preferred that anyway. I'm a night owl as well, but because I'm trying to just be more productive and just grow into a better person, I'm just trying to wake up earlier. And I mentioned it already, I was already waking up at 6:30, but because the morning pages take me an hour to finish, I have to commit to 6 o'clock. I'm not going any earlier than that. I'm not, you know. But I was basically telling my friend that I don't think, like, I feel like, I mean, this is subjective, right? Because Julia definitely calls them the morning pages. And I was explaining to her how I do think that Julia suggests us to write these in the morning just because it's the first thing you do when you wake up. It's a very nice way to practice your stream of consciousness, you know, before it gets all tainted with the activities of every day. And I think that's why she puts an emphasis on the morning, because it's, again, the first thing that you do and it sets the tone. But ultimately, I think writing 3 pages every day is monumental in itself, and it is a spiritual practice. Like I'm starting to see the importance of morning pages. Like at first I do think I was just doing it just because she told me to do them, but now if I don't do the morning pages, or if I wake up late and I have to choose, like last week I woke up late before work and I had to choose between doing the morning pages and doing my morning ritual, the yoga meditation. I still recite my 42 laws of Ma'at. Like I can do that anywhere, walking, on the bus, on the way to work, at work, like I can do that in motion. But I had to choose between yoga and meditation and the morning pages, and I chose the morning pages because the thought of how I would feel if I didn't do them, I feel would have left something with me throughout my day versus not doing them at all. But yeah, I feel like the bulk of Honest changes, she's just going into people's different opinions and stories about how they didn't want to do the morning pages, but then they finally did it, and then such and such happened. I have 3 things that really spoke to me that I wanted to share. So the first thing, just as an athlete accustomed to running becomes irritable when he is unable to get his miles in, so too those of us accustomed to morning pages will notice an irritability when we let them slide. We are tempted always to reverse cause and effect. I was too crabby to write them, instead of I didn't write them, so I was crabby. I think this really sheds light on the power of our mentality. You know, we use these excuses like, oh, I was feeling this way, that's why I didn't get it done. I was doing that, so I was feeling that, so I didn't get it done. But there's this quote that I saved like 2 years ago, and I'm not gonna look it up now. I'm just gonna paraphrase it, but it's basically saying that you've got to do the thing long after the feeling of wanting to do it goes away. Like you're not going to feel like that 100%. Let's be real. Like you're not always going to feel motivated and inspired to do the work. But if it's one thing that the artist dates are teaching me that I feel like aligns with what my first like note, it's the fact that like even getting ready to go out to an artist date seems like a lot. And I think it's because I've become so accustomed in just shutting myself out and just shutting up my inner artist. So that was one of the discoveries that I made this week, because I was late leaving out for this week's artist date. And I started thinking and asking myself, why do I keep leaving out late? Like what is going on? And I came up with an hypothesis of an extension of basically being scared of success. So I told myself, I was like, maybe I'm scared to leave out on time, because if I do have enough time to allocate for a full completion of artwork, then I'm then gonna have to be responsible for that full completion and be ready for whatever comes with it. because I think I have dope ideas, and I think I'm ready to get anything started. I'm excited to do my artist date. I'm excited to take that time for myself. But then why do I drag my feet with it? And so, I mean, that was something that I felt like this kind of brought out. Just using that as an excuse, you know? Like, who cares about your feelings? Fuck your feelings. And I say that with love. My dad was the example of tough love, and my mom was the example of like breastfed love. And I really feel like I appreciate tough love way more because you're being hard on me for a reason. Like, I feel like it has purpose. But I'm also a Capricorn, and not everyone functions like that. And I'm not saying that's the only way to get things. But I do think a strong component of tough love that we all need to take in is just that hard truth. Like, the truth hurts, but the sooner you face it and you get over it and yourself, the sooner you can become great. The sooner you will see change, you know? So, I mean, I thought that was nice. All right, so clarity. Okay. The process of identifying a self inevitably involves loss as well as gain. We discover our boundaries, and those boundaries, by definition, separate us from our fellows. As we clarify our perceptions, we lose our misconceptions. As we eliminate ambiguity, no shame in my game. You are never too old to learn, okay? Age does not always define intelligence, let me tell you, or maturity, okay? Ambiguity. All right, so let's find that out. As we eliminate ambiguity, we lose illusion as well. We arrive at clarity, and clarity creates change. Can I get a oh shit? No, because like Julia is snapping right now. Like, she is preaching, like she is dead ass, and she is not wrong. Okay, so the camera may start moving a little bit. Just actually, I can set it up like this right here. The fuck. Oh, bet. And you know what this reminded me of? Like, as we discover our boundaries and our perceptions and eliminate ambiguity. We just did this. Ambiguity. How many syllables? Ambiguity. It's funny because I know the word. I've heard it before. But it's funny because, like, when you leave school or just grade school or whatever, you don't even have to go to college. When you graduate from high school, or when you, like, leave the education system, the profound vocabulary and learning certain things in real life really doesn't matter. Like, once you graduate or step outside of those education grounds, a lot of shit doesn't matter. I mean, I feel like it should. I'm just saying it as an observation, because ambiguity, I've definitely seen that word before. Like, let's not act like this is my first time seeing it now. You know what I'm saying? I just don't use it enough to know the pronunciation, and I clearly don't hear it enough, right? My only personal opinion or like thought process I had with this, which is why I felt it was really important, was the whole thing about labels, right? And I know you know the people, you may be one yourself, those kind of people who be like, oh, I don't like labels, I don't want to conform, like I don't like labels because I don't put me in a box, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do labels. And I completely understand where these people are coming from. But then there's always this like thought, this follow-up thought that says, well, maybe you just haven't found the right label for you. Because for me personally, I don't like labels either. But then, well, at first I used to not like labels. And then further diving into it, I actually love labels because I feel like it defines me. But see, what happens when people push labels onto you, and that's when you start to like not fuck with it. Like, for example, being bisexual. I remember when I was figuring out my sexuality, I was so nervous to say that I was a lesbian because I was like, okay, yeah, I definitely am attracted to girls. Like, I definitely like them, but I'm still attracted to guys. Like, I still think the boy in my math class is cute. So I don't really know. Like, does that mean that I'm gay? I didn't even feel that comfortable saying gay, because I feel like people just jump to conclusions, and that just means that I still only like one sex, one gender. So when I really discovered what bisexual meant, it has always been by my side, and I've been happy with it, you know? And that's just one of the examples. There's a lot of other examples, like black, woman, you know, locked, being locked. Certain labels I don't mind taking a hold on just because I feel like they represent me. But that was just like one example, I guess, that I had. I hope it relates. I feel like it connected in my head. But I just felt like I'm using the labels as an example just because when I found out about these different labels, these different terms to describe a person, I got more clarity. Therefore, it gave me more confidence in myself and who I am and who I represent. I could care less about the labels that people jump to conclusions on, but the labels that I choose for myself, untouchable. Can't beat that. My next note is this, I'm probably gonna pronounce it wrong, Kriya, Kriya. It's a Sanskrit word, and it means a spiritual emergency or surrender. And in the context, she says, I don't want to raise my consciousness, we wail. I want ... And thanks to the morning pages, we learn what we want and ultimately becoming willing to make the changes needed to get it. But not without a tantrum, and not without a Kriya, the spiritual emergency or surrender. And then Julia says that she thinks of Kriyas as spiritual seizures. When we go through a real change, when we go about a transformation, our soul is gonna ruffle a bit. Our person, our character is just gonna question it a bit because this is new territory. We've never been here before. But it's definitely necessary, and we have to commit and we have to surrender our old self in order to become the new. My last thought is on the next page, and this is my last note as far as like my reading notes, which is why I was like, I just wanted to get this out the way first. Julia says, as we gain or regain our creative identity, we lose the false self we were sustaining. The loss of this false self can feel traumatic. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't recognize me. Gems. Julia dropping gems. But yeah, those were all my reading notes. I really feel like, you know, Honest Changes is just really about making those changes, and how the morning pages is a pathway to that, is a gateway to that change. Because, again, not only is it ourself, but it is the creator's voice through ourselves on those pages. So it's really important to take that seriously. And then, like I mentioned, she went into buried dreams. This is the next topic, and exercise. And then she goes into the reading deprivation, which, I mean, I had interesting feelings about the reading deprivation. So my only thing with the reading deprivation was that, you know, I had heard about it and I was looking forward to it. But if anything, the deprivation made me realize how much that I don't read as much as I would like to. And I want that to change, because I didn't really miss out on much. I feel like I didn't really get like too much out of it. There were certain moments like I wanted to work on the script because I was feeling motivated. And then I realized that working on the script meant that I would have to read the older pages. And I was like, okay, well, I can't read this week, so I can't do that. So there were little moments where I had to, you know, dib and dabble around that. But I think the reading deprivation made me realize how much I don't read. Originally, like in my early 20s, I wanted to read one book a month. Well, it wasn't for a challenge or anything. It was just strictly for fun. I'm a bookworm. I love to read. And so I just forgot about how much I don't read for fun anymore. Julie was mentioning how, you know, we usually will pick up like these self-help books and these self-help tools, and we'll read everything and try to do these different systems that other people have done to try to progress for ourselves. And the whole point of the reading deprivation was to just not intake any other voices, any external influences, and just listen to our own inner voice. And my inner voice was telling me I want to read more fiction books. I feel like if I do read, yes, it'll usually be a self-help book or, you know, how-to type of books. And I need more. So I'm excited to start Wicked this week. If anything, it made me want to read more. All right, so let me get into my overview of the notes. It's not too much, but you know. It's a little something. So of course, first I marked day one. I was so happy. I was completely happy that I was on time, posted the video. I started reading on Tuesday and I finished Tuesday. But Monday, while I was editing the check-in for week 3, I was having this overbearing feeling of, yeah, I think I'm done. Like after the Artist Way program and after documenting this, I think I'm done editing these kinds of videos, just talking to the camera and just, I don't know, just talking, because like this is not what I want to do. I want to be editing different material. I don't mind talking and I don't mind sharing my opinions. Actually, I like it. I think it's cool, but that's just not what I want to do for my life, and that's not what I want to be known for. And so yeah, those feelings were just coming up because I just want to edit different things now. Like I want to edit scenes and movies and the ideas that I have in my computer. So that was a really strong feeling that I was getting. I was just like, yeah, I think I'm done talking and I'm ready to do. Wednesday, I woke up a little late, and I think I mentioned this earlier. I woke up late and I had to make a decision between my morning ritual or doing the morning pages, and I did those morning pages because they will get done. So I wanted to note that Wednesday was really good because I was like, dang, I woke up but I still have time to do this if I do it now. And so the morning pages did get done, but Wednesday was a struggle because I woke up late. Oh, and I also started listening to affirmation music. Okay, so because of the reading deprivation, I was like, okay, I'm gonna not read for the week, but I kind of want to do something else. And she lists in the book other activities that you can do other than the reading deprivation, like listen to music. But I love music. I'm always listening to music. So I decided to switch it up. And Wednesday I started, like, I just YouTube affirmation music. I didn't even know what was gonna pop up, and I found this really cool Afro beats affirmation playlist here on YouTube. I'm gonna link it in the description. It was really nice, like, and I've been listening to it ever since I found it every morning, like just getting ready for work or just going about my day, walking if I have to use my headphones. I'm really digging it, like the lyrics, like, oh my god, I mean, I don't know it off the top of my dome that yet, but like they really be hitting. And I also started listening to this series called Still Life, which is these two guys talking about how to just be more still in life and be more present through a spiritual awakening. Through a spiritual awakening, through a spiritual path, like just how to be more present in life. And I've really been enjoying that. So that's been very pleasing. So I do have the reading deprivation to thank for that. Without that direction, I don't think I would have thought to search that. So that's been a cool thing to experience. And then my last note I have is for Thursday because, you know, all I said here to wrap up for my last note is that, like, all I said here was you really have to force yourself. You really have to push yourself to do the things that you want to do because you know it's going to benefit you in the long run, and you have to push how you feel aside. Thursday, because I break up the 10 tasks, you know, in certain days, so I do certain tasks certain days. And Thursday, by the time, you know, it came around to it, I just did not feel like doing the tasks. Like I was just feeling very comfortable in my bed. But I was like, no, I have to get up, because if I don't do it and then I pile it on to tomorrow, and that's going to be like double task tomorrow, 1, but then 2, I'm not going to feel good. Like, what is that doing? What am I doing right now? So, you know, after I finished my episode, I got up and I did the task, and I just felt really good. Like, I just remember saying, I just noted that I was excited to make discoveries and to actually use my brain to think. Sometimes you just really got to push yourself. You may not feel like it, but then once you get there, once you get outside, and once you start moving and doing the thing, you're going to appreciate it, I promise you. And then I also said that this was fun. You know, like, why am I procrastinating with this? This isn't homework. No one is forcing me to do this. It's not boring. It's not tedious. This is something I chose to do, and I'm finding joy in it. Again, it's not that I don't want to do it. I don't know what this weird procrastination thing is happening. I think I'm just comfortable. I'm content. But once I push myself to do the thing, I find it fun. I find it exciting. I'm genuinely interested to know my response to what Julia is asking of me in these tasks. And it's so interesting to look back and see the person I've grown into and who I've become from who I was. So the recovery is just beautiful, but you really gotta force yourself to do it. Can't eat the elephant all at once. Gotta tackle it piece by piece. Well, You know, that's an analogy, no, but I'm vegan, so it didn't even feel right saying. So let's scratch that and just say the only way through is through. You can take baby steps. You don't have to jump or leap. Slow and steady wins the race. But all right, you guys, that's all I've got for week 4. I'd say all in all was a pretty good week. Did I go into my artist date? No, my artist date was cool. One of the tasks was that she actually wanted us to do an extended artist date, so spend one whole weekend day to yourself. And I chose to go hiking. You know, I went to Whole Foods, I got some snacks, got a bottle of water, got everything that I needed. I bought my speaker, I bought my camera because I was trying to do something that I didn't end up doing. So I just ended up going on a hiking trail, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Like, I want to go back next weekend. Well, this weekend. It went really well. I'm very proud. So, week 4 for the win. Boom, boom. See y'all next week. Hope y'all have a beautiful one.